Yo! Hey! Yeah! There is one way! World places!
Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of The Story Behind the Scream. It's our last one this year at Summer Breeze, and it's one we couldn't be more excited about because we're sitting here with, how should I call it? Alex Karski, what's the...
Yeah.
Both?
That's the proper name. In German, we say Alex Karski.
Alex Karski. We're sitting here with Alex Kerski from VIANOVA. And I've listened to a ton of your stuff, like you're on the top of my own repeat play. So I can't wait to dive deep into vocals with you. And our first question is, you played a bunch of shows recently. You've just come back from Great Britain, played 2 shows there. Now Summer Breeze, how's your voice doing?
I'll be honest, Summer Breeze was rough. I'm always very anxious about my voice, right? So like I don't drink. I stopped smoking. I try to like just treat myself well. London was really good. Arctangent, Bristol the next day also really good. And yesterday I think I should have just like shut my voice up for the day. And today I was not feeling it really voice like wise. But like hopefully I'm just like growing into like just playing more shows and like getting used to like how much I can take and like how I can like regulate myself, I think.
Summer Breeze, the film is an action can come on. Wir sind nicht aus Berlin, und wenn die Party geht, open this fucking shit. So why is everybody up in the field answering the question what the fuck they got in fussing about? Well, that's a problem. No flame, no end until the blood is settled.
As a vocalist, I think you have the most insane range of anybody we've ever talked to. Like you do like highs, you do like super nasty gurgly lows, you do clean singing, you have like really like belting notes in the chorus, you have like the super soft like high voice stuff going on.
That, yeah.
Yeah, just like my voice is also not the best voice crack that stays in. So with the Story Behind the Scream, we also want to like dig into the past. Like you haven't developed that range overnight. Maybe can you tell us a little bit when you started, how long you've been doing it, and kind of what was your path?
Yeah, I think I pretty much started at this point 10 years ago, which is a good number to say because it seems like, yeah, 10 years ago. And everybody's like, yeah, in 10 years I will do that. All right. So I started, like, I remember vividly when I was 17-ish, my start of 17, I had a friend who was able to do a metal growl, right? Like, and he was able to do like that basic, that thing. And I was like, this sounds insane. Like, how does he do that? And then I had like summer vacation and I wasn't even that like into metal, like into rock, a little bit of System of a Down, you know what I mean? But I looked up like how to scream YouTube tutorial. And then I also remember like watching Ollie Sykes' best voice moments compilation on YouTube. And I was like, this is insane. And then I watched like a growling tutorial and that was like my start of doing it. And then I just dabbled with that, you know, just screaming, growling along in the shower and just like doing that, right? And like I used to sing a bit just because I used to play the guitar, just like to sing along, but like not really good. And then there was a point where I did it for like half a year and it was a lot of fun. And like, you know, every time I went to school, came back, I couldn't wait for just like going to front of my computer, scream some songs along, was super fun. And then I went to my parents, I was like, hey, can I get some singing lessons for Christmas? And then I got some singing lessons, classical singing actually, just because we had a classical singing teacher right around the corner. And I just went to her and that's where I learned like singing basics, just like basic resonance and stuff like that, which at the time was very separated from what I was doing like screaming wise. And I also like, I got in the school choir, kind of also because I know that like the choir, they were like called Chorfahrten, you know, I don't know, like the choir vacations where you like go on a trip and everybody would like just practice and like get shit-faced drunk. So kind of was also like because of like getting drunk as a teenager, but also like we had that. And that was like then later on, like pretty much 1 year later, I joined VIANOVA. So like that's when I started getting more ambitious with it. And then I had a nerd phase where I like watched every tutorial available online. And like you guys probably know that, just like a lot on Reddit. And in a way it helps, but also like it doesn't, just because like everybody's so different. And then I also I took a lot of lessons. I had first lessons with a guy called something Kennedy, a Canadian guy.
I know who you mean.
Jason Kennedy. Yeah. Okay, some Kennedy guy, right? I remember him. And then I had a lot of vocal lessons, and that was the thing that helped me the most at the start with a Russian teacher at the time. That was before the war. I have to say that called Hell Scream Academy, right? And that's I found him on YouTube. He had Russian. I was so deep down the rabbit hole. He had tutorials in Russian only, but he sounded insane, and I just wanted to know what's up. So I had to make there's this Russian Facebook called VK, and I'm talking a lot. I hope that's okay. Yeah. Okay. Sorry. Okay. So I made myself a profile on the Russian Facebook called VK, and I messaged them, and I was like, can I book a vocal lesson? And then he ended up becoming my regular vocal teacher over Skype. And with him, I learned screaming basics, but the thing that helped the most was that he was also developing my mixed voice register and connecting my head voice to my chest voice, which was the most important thing. And also I wanted to learn a new technique, but it also pretty much developed everything else in a way, because the voice it's much less, in my opinion, less oh, you do this and then this happens, but there are also a lot of factors and how you just use your voice in general that contribute. So yeah, I did that, and then we wrote new songs, and then you start recording, writing different stuff, and just trying out. Yeah, and then I think my voice really developed during the time of just recording a lot and just trying out stupid shit, basically. And yeah, now I'm here, just still pushing myself, still taking vocal lessons from time to time to get more efficient, just because recording and playing live are two very different things, and you have to adjust accordingly, right? So that's pretty much how I got there. Yeah, very broad answer.
Bounce, 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 hit!
Would you say you're still a vocal nerd?
Yes, of course. But I don't look at tutorials that much anymore, just because I know that usually people I think I know every approach, and there's stuff that I know doesn't work because of some habits that I have, and it doesn't make any tutorials can work and they cannot, I think. And also, I feel the really good vocal coaches, if they have some YouTube material available, either they're holding back some key information, or you are not able to do it right because you're doing one thing wrong, and then you would need a lesson. So they would tell you okay, you're trying to do that, but you need to try this other thing you're not aware of. So it doesn't make any sense. So right now, to get started, tutorials, yes. But if you're serious about it, I would advise everybody who has of course financial means to do it, to take vocal lessons. Yeah.
From your experience with all the tutorials, is there one key thing that coaches are holding back? One thing that would help the people out there directly?
I'm not exactly sure if there are some if people if you see a video and it's these are the top 5 things that is holding you back, or it's very clickbaity, and then at the end they try to funnel you into an email. And in a way, I also think it's fair, because low-key, if you've spent so much time on developing your craft, I think it's also okay to use those marketing tactics, just because you gatekeeping a little bit, right? If you're such a good vocal teacher, I think you could argue for that. But to get back to the question, I think one thing that I don't see people talk about is that mixed voice and screaming are very connected, head voice and screaming especially. That's something that, for me, was a key thing especially like in false chord screaming. I think that's something not, and I'm not sure if not people are not like aware of that, but it's just that, yeah, that's something that I haven't seen anybody talk about, basically.
I'm just not so curious how your screams sound. Like with this headphones and with this mixture, and Eric is already looking forward for this for weeks now. And you played already a show, we have to say, so there's already...
Yeah, I have to say, like 3 shows, like yesterday I had an off day, but we slept so little that it doesn't count. I'm very tired, my voice is very fatigued. I will sound like shit, but I can try. Yeah, okay. The things we can run through everything, basically.
Wherever you wanna go, we follow you.
How do we do it? Like I scream in this and you will measure with that?
I'll just make sure it doesn't clip.
Okay. So we have like all the false chordish stuff, which I guess like you have a mid. Yo! Yo! Okay, like that. It's not that loud. I'm not a loud vocalist, right?
You have a microphone for this.
Okay. I have to think. I will do like try to do a compressed guttural thingy. Very, very quiet. And that's like, it sounds fryish, but it is not, it's not just because it's very, like if you would take a throw singing thing, then you compress the fuck out of it. It sounds like that.
Awesome.
Yeah, yeah. And that's the funny thing, right? I cheat a lot because I'm a tenor, I have a squeaky voice, which means that I can't do very low vocals in my natural register, but I can, like, if I try to make the overtone like very thick and juicy, it sounds low. You could like something uncompressed, like that. More airflow, you know, just pushing more, right?
Yeah.
Then one thing I think which is funny, people are like, oh, your range, high screams, but high screams are just cheating too. Just because like if you just try to make it very head voicey, wow, like it's not that good right now. Oh, wow, wow. You get a very like easy kind of high screamy kind of tone.
Yeah.
I could do a better one if I was in better shape, basically.
That's fry, right?
No, it's false chord. No, that's the thing, right? What is interesting is like, and like I think fry and false chord are very interesting specifications, and they are valid. If you want to know a lot about that, like look up Tony Linke. Shout out Tony Linke. But like one thing that is weird is like if you move in this area with a lot of head voice, like you get weird overtones, right? So like let's take a throat singing, and then I move it up in my head voice, and then and then I make it easier, and you can tell that it's breaking up already. Wah! And then wah! No, like there's no, you don't get the fryish overtones. It's just that the vibration, it breaks up. Like the false chord, they vibrate differently. They don't vibrate. I think they vibrate in a different like frequency range, and that's why you get like higher overtones. And also this nasality thing. It's like very quiet. You can tell it's like speech level, and you can project that if you want. But that's something. And also one thing that is, because I noticed like you guys, you always like try to project a lot and put force into it. That is very light. Like you don't get that if you try to hold it. You have to let go. But you don't get that if you're not used to doing. You know, you have to get used to like the coordination and like trust your body that you don't have to hold anything back, basically, right? Then one thing that is funny, I don't know if I can do it, but the pain scream, of our recent, no one can take. Okay, I'll do it then. And then one thing, you have like what's weird, you know, with the mixed voice thingy. If I do a mid, yo, I can pull my voice back. You can hear it's not that loud. Yo. Then if I move it out, yo, right? And it sounds like very crispy, but that's just because if you're like the more mixed I think you are, the easier the false chords vibrate.
Yeah.
So like if you're a beginner, and that's my theory. If you're a beginner and you try to do like a false chord thingy, and you try to put a lot of pressure and like chest voice into it, like you will have trouble because like the parts are not in harmony with each other. And that doesn't mean that you can do this like how I'm doing it right now for like 2 hours. I think like for me as a tenor, a lot of false chord engagement can be tiring after some time, but like the more head voicey I get, the easier it is. Whoa, 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 whoa. You see, whoa. Very easy to engage them. Yeah. You see, whoa. Very easy. Whoa, whoa. There, you can move that. Whoa. You can do that, but there's like a cap just because I'm like, you know, projecting that, and then I have to go like full head voice to do a wah, 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 kind of thing. Right. And then the next thing that I do a lot on the record, which I'm not sure will, or like on records, on like the recording, which I'm not sure will work right now, which is the weirdest thing is like this yell that sounds fresh and I might fuck it up. Hey! Hey! Yeah! This thingy, right? And right now, I'll be honest, I don't do it live.
Yeah.
Because like that's like you get, it's very scary because like you literally make your voice break. But like since you're very heavy, you go there! And you know, it sounds crazy and like you can get to a point where like you don't have as much false chord engagement and it's more compressed. Yeah! Yeah! Wow! I don't, something like that. But it's scary because like if you don't do it right, it fucks you up. Like you have like your voice HP bar, right? So that's scary. Yeah. Yeah. That's and then you have like compression based things, which are like, wow, wow. I can do like the high thing, which is just compression based fry engagement kind of stuff. And then you have like belting with. Should I go on?
It's blowing my mind.
Yeah, you know? But the thing is like, for everybody watching, you think, oh yeah, he's crazy. There's like a difference of like doing it in this environment where I'm sitting down and I can like calibrate and like live. Like I still have to work a lot on like getting it live, so like I can, fire it off. And like the singing stuff is just mixed voice. You know, you have this. If like would scale it down, and then you like mix it. One thing I'm learning right now is like twang, where you like get really nasty, which is easier on the voice, and then you can like add compression, this kind of stuff. But you need like the compression because like one thing, if you try to put too much distortion into like those higher ranges, like you can only like you have to minimize the distortion. Like the distortion sounds crazy because you're projecting so much and you're compressing so much, but like if you try to, like let's say a growl is like 80% distortion, like on the, this is uncompressed. Oh, no, this is just compressed, no distortion. Yeah! You can see like little false chord engagement and that's enough. Yeah! And then you also have to watch out that you don't build up too much tension there. Okay, sorry, I just went on.
I don't know how to follow up on it. When the first time I saw you live, the first time I heard your highs, I was like, it reminded me a lot of like David Benitez Fry highs. I was like, that's exactly what he's doing. It sounds exactly the same. So that's now false chord. It's blowing my mind, and also like the super heavy lows that you do, that are actually very quiet because like they sound like so fucking massive.
You don't have the volume basically. Yeah. Like if you're a baritone bass kind of guy, like I think like low vocals you can like have a lot of volume, but the thing is, because again, every scream I do is head voice basically, or mixed voice, and my mixed voice can only go to this point. This is the lowest I can do. Like I can do a hey kind of more open, chest voice, but I can't distort there. Yeah. So my lowest, this is
is the voice I have under there, which is not very low, but because I compress it so much,
it sounds lower than it actually is, right? So like you always have like the voice that's beneath is higher than the like with false chord, the voice is always higher than the distortion basically, right? So like if you like want to do a very low growl, you have to figure out like if the distortion you're hearing is low or if your voice is low, because that's something like beginners often do wrong. They're like, okay, I want to do a low growl, and then they try to push the like voice too low. But basically, if you want to do a growl, you have to do a mid-range kind of mixed voicey thing, and then distort it. Sorry.
Yeah, definitely not me who's doing that now. And I don't know what you're talking about there.
push it back, side to side, side to side. Open this shit up, baby. Let's fucking go.
All right, okay, now we get to the question. Ooh, yeah.
Yes.
Besides Wheel of Fortune, my favorite track on the record. Okay, Wheel of Fortune is second. And it doesn't even have heavy vocals on it. That says a lot about how good the song is, because I don't listen to songs that don't have screams in it a lot. So fucking banger. And you already put a reel out on it, and I was like, damn it, he did it first. Because, I mean, I think you know which scream we're talking about.
Yeah.
I think people said a lot of like things about that scream that are probably also like bullshit. I also asked our coach, like we take coaching, right?
Yeah.
Two times per month about it, and he was like, that's totally safe. Like it's probably like, I don't exactly remember what it was, like head voice with some distortion, but like
With some shit,
yeah. Maybe can you walk us through the entire breakdown from like that? You have like this break thing, like things get quiet, and like how long can you carry your gut? And then you go to like the lows, the highs, lows, and then like the. How can you walk us through how that goes?
Yeah, okay, so like we start with the false chordish projected thing. And that's funny because like I try, like with that one, I try to do a very like yawny, like very like this kind of voice, so it sounds like you're in pain. Like this thing. Right. Okay. We got that. And then I'm like doing this yell thingy, but I try to pitch it there so it's cool. Like, how long can you carry the shame? This thing, like shame. And that's it's a tricky thing to do, and I wouldn't do it live just because like I would be scared. But maybe I figure it out, probably, hopefully, right? And then you just have your low, like no, or like mid-ish kind of. No one can take on your failure. Like like darkened failure, so it's like darker.
Yeah.
And then obviously you have to make it more exciting the second time. You can't just do a low or like low mid, and then do another low mid. So like because it has to build up. And so like I did the same thing but darker, basically, like no one like more no one can take your pain. Like so it sounds like more like more agonizing, basically, right? So you have that. No one can take your pain. Then the yell thing again. There is one. There is one way. And this one was good because I had less false chord engagement, and you had more of the like true voice distortion there. After that, false chord low, but I small Easter egg. I did the how is it called? Mitch Lucker technique, where you do like you do like you cup the mic basically.
I was wondering how the fuck you did.
He did that in the studio. I was like, yeah, sure, let's go for it. You know what I mean? So it sounds like very muffled. Walk by faith, bum bum, and then guttural. I already showed that.
Yeah.
That's interesting right now because like I just did some vocals and now my false chord compression is breaking up a little bit.
Yeah.
So it's more like there you go. You had like a bad onset, but you know I basically do that walk by. So you like fuck with the you fuck with the like just with the shape to get it like even more guttural-ish. Then you do that for quite some time. The one like after that another shout, and then we get to the no one can take your pain thing. And that was interesting because like I did a demo scream where it was just a high projected false chord yell kind of thing. But then I did the one like no one can take your. In the final recording, I did that higher. So I was like, okay, so the thing after that has to be even more crazy. And then I was like, okay, how high can I go? And there was this thing that at a certain range, it just starts breaking up. So it was kind of by accident. I have to see if I can do it right now, actually. Pain! Pain! And that's just... And what's funny about that, like it was like we didn't get as many crazy overtones. Yeah. It was more pitched, and you had a more like just very kind of false chord distortion. But I just go into like in very projected head voice, and then I think it's just because like the false chord doesn't know what to do, so it goes crazy, basically. And I also have to add to that like I took classical singing lessons on like head voice, so like that's why it's easy to do the kind of thing. Yeah, that's the thing basically. But I'm not sure. Like, don't try this at home because like if you don't have a very open operatic, like it was not sounding good. But like you have to have a very open chill head voice. If you don't have that, don't do it. You will fuck yourself up for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, because like I'm at home listening to the song and I'm like, okay, let's see if I can do it. And then, like, not the high one, but like everything beforehand. Like I wouldn't even try because as you said, I would prefer, but like no one can take on your failure. Stuff like that. Stuff like that. But then you're like, and then I'm like,
you can't get as much like time out of your growl just because like you're using a lot of air, and that's the problem with like starting with the like kind of technique, because like you're pushing out a lot of air to like activate the distortion. And like I did that too at the start, but then I kind of learned a different way with the other vocal coach of like going there with my mixed voice. It sounds like Fry, right? But it's false chord, very like low frequency, like no high frequency. And the thing is, like you can hear there, I have like active, like true voice engagement. And like every scream that I do, I'm not like I'm thinking like I'm putting my voice through the actual distortion, and I'm trying to hit the spot where like those two float together well. And one thing you have to do to be able to do that is minimize the air that's passing through. Like you have a lot of air, for instance, right? Yeah. Right. So like with this, no air. Yeah. I just have my very like chill mixed voice or like head voice going into the distortion and like just coming together nicely. And that's why you can hold it for a lot of time, because it's basically like you're doing, and you can do that like forever. Okay, we have to go. I know.
No.
Okay.
I'm scared of the darkness. I'm so loud in this darkness night. In a way to live my life in danger. There's so much more to find. Your head keeps holding me. Your shit keeps moving me. I know there's nothing that can frighten me.
Okay, nice.
Eric, you have to honor. You talk for so many weeks.
Yeah, I know. I'm such
We
a.
have some community questions. How about we close out on this one?
Yeah, of course.
All right.
Yeah.
Community questions from Edgelord. What is your favorite song live?
Oh, good question. Let me see. Okay, whatever, all right, because I don't have to do anything. The live set is very demanding, and like whatever all right comes on, I know I can talk for like 2 minutes and I can chill out. So I'm a lazy piece of shit.
And the other one you already answered with like, how do you do the super high screams?
That way.
That way.
Yeah. But like honestly, like if anybody wants to attempt what I'm doing, I think like just getting like singing lessons for real, developing a good relationship to your clean voice, and also like learning mixed voice, I think is very, very good. Because like with you, for instance, and this is not like not a critique in a way, but with you guys, I know like you probably don't sing, right? Really?
He has
You does. Okay, that's good. That's good. But you know, and the thing is, like, I can tell because, like, when you are trying to do a false chord high, like a lot of like things are happening, and your voice, like, you're going there, and you maybe have the distortion, but your voice is like, what the fuck should I do?
Yeah.
I'm not used to doing or like my voice can so I can do you know, I don't have any tension when I go up with my clean voice because my voice knows what to do by training, right? So like basically that's my, like, maybe it's too oversimplified, and maybe like some vocal coach will see this and be like, no, he's wrong. So like fair, right? But in my opinion, I feel like if you have that, and maybe you have no like good natural ability to do it, like if you try to do a false chord high as a beginner, like your false chords maybe know what to do, but your clean voice is like, what the fuck is this? You know, where should I go? Oh fuck, I can't do it. You know what I mean? So I think that's what happens. Yeah.
All right, you have to go.
Yeah, we good, right?
And yeah, thank you so much for your time. I don't know. If we can, maybe we continue this conversation another time, because I have more questions now than I had before.